Hey everyone, I just wanted to check in with you now that we've finished our first ID step for the course timeline. I'm going to post this video for both Section 51 and Section 52 of New Mexico history. The video and the pointers that I'll give you are the same for both, even though I'm using the timeline for Section 52. So you're both working on your own class timelines. For the most part, everybody seems to be getting the hang of using Tiki posting your work there. There are a couple of things I wanted to show you in terms of the kind of technical side of using Tiki, just some reminders. That's why I did a screencast rather than just a video of my face. And wanted to make some comments about historical significance. Before I say those things, though, I wanted to let everyone know that for Unit 2, you have the opportunity to revise and resubmit your timeline assignment in order to earn up to full credit for the assignment. I do that always with the first round of the timeline assignment because I know that this is something that's new for all of us. We haven't been using Tiki before. You haven't had to deal with this particular assignment before. And so I want everyone to feel comfortable with it and get on the same page as we begin the course. If you choose to revise your assignment, you don't need to resubmit your document to Blackboard. You can just make all of your changes here on Tiki. If you do that, though, please send me an email to let me know that you've made some revisions so that I will know to go back and reread your post and update your score, because Tiki won't give me any sort of notification that you've made changes. Okay, so do take advantage of that, and please ask questions if you have them about the feedback that I will be offering you on Blackboard. I haven't yet finished scoring all of the Unit 2 ID steps, but I wanted to get this up so that everybody could look over what you've done and maybe fix some of the small things that I'll be showing you here in a second. One of the things that you may notice is that here the images haven't shown up for a couple of these posts. Let me pick one of these. I'm going to go into it through the admin. We'll do the Coronado post. I'm going to hit more just to bring up the whole box. So you'll notice the image doesn't show up, and I will show you why that is the case. So I'm going to copy the URL that was placed in there and put it into a new tab. It looks like in this case, Sean grabbed the URL for the entire Google search, even though this is the image it looks like he's chosen. Using this URL up here in the box won't work with Tiki. What you need to do is right-click directly on the image that you want to use. If you're on a Mac, control-click. I'm on a Mac. And then choose Copy Image Address. It may say something slightly different on a PC, but it's essentially the same idea. Copy the image address, then go back over to Tiki. I'm going to paste that image in and click Save, and you'll notice there it is. I'm going to revert this, just let's see, delete it, yes, and then fix it back to the way it was, just because I want everyone to go in and make these changes for themselves as I offer you feedback via Blackboard. The other thing, let me see if I can find an example of it that I wanted to show you. I actually don't know that there was an example here that I can readily remember. So you'll notice that all of these posts have the Find Out More button. You click it, it opens a new tab or a new window and takes you to the outside source that you've chosen. I don't need to let that load. Going in here, I'm just going to choose one of these. Grant has done this correctly by pasting the URL here in the link box. So if I give you feedback that says you need to make sure to embed your outside source in Tiki, that means that you didn't embed the source in the link box, and you need to do that. You can't earn full credit for the outside source portion of the ID step if you haven't done that. And I know that's being a little bit of a stickler, but you earn points essentially just for adding a source, a link to this. And so you need to do it correctly here on Tiki in order to earn full credit. Same thing goes with the adding the video or image post. One last thing to point out in terms of kind of the technical things going on here. I'm going to scroll to the side and look for an example. You guys did it all right. If you find that you add your post and instead of just seeing your name, it's a bunch of text here in this box, what that means, and I'll show you what Amanda did here in hers. That means that you've posted your text here in the intro box rather than in the extra info box. So make sure that you use extra info for the bulk of your text so that it will appear here with your formatting preserved and not in all italics. If everything's just kind of crammed together all in italics, that's because you've pasted it all here in the intro box. So if you get some feedback that says post into extra info rather than intro, that's what I'm talking about. I think those are the major stylistic things that I wanted to point out. If you haven't yet been able to complete your timeline post, please do so as soon as you can. And then also, please pay attention to the description of historical significance. You can visit the video tutorials that I've posted in the timeline tab on Blackboard, or the link that I've given you about historical significance in Unit 1. But basically, for the timeline assignment, what I'm asking you to do there is to provide some analysis to explain and address the question of why this matters, so what, who cares? I've published a few articles and I've had an editor tell me, again, you need to make sure to address the so what, who cares about your topic. If you haven't done that, you haven't yet addressed historical significance. It is possible to list things that are significant about your topic without actually explaining why those things are significant. So you need to take that next step and explain how this fits into the bigger picture, why this thing matters. Hopefully that's all helpful as we continue with our work on the timeline. I look forward to continuing to build this timeline with all of you. Oh, one last thing, I almost forgot. Please make sure that you post not only to Tiki-Taki, but also to Blackboard. So that's why I have you do that Word document where you do your research work after you've created your placeholder. So again, many of you have created your placeholders here and claimed your topic. You're doing your work in a Word document. You need to submit that to Blackboard as well as here. There are a couple of reasons for that. The first one is that once the timeline begins to fill up, I won't be able to find your work unless you've posted it to Blackboard and I can see which topic you've chosen. Then I can come here and find it on Tiki-Taki. There just gets to be too much, as you'll see once we continue the course. And the second reason is that we're all using the same login information. We're all adding to the same timeline here. Not very often, but every now and then accidents happen and somebody's post gets changed or deleted. I'm able to look at what you posted into Blackboard and give you credit for that work in that event. And that doesn't happen often. Please try hard to avoid it, but those are the reasons for having you post in both places. So please make sure that you do both. All right, I think that's everything I need to say. So I hope that you're having a great day, and please let me know what questions you have about the timeline or anything else for class.